Well, yeah, I mean, where we end in season 1, Charles has come back and asserted some sort of physical dominance over the town a bit, and he's up at the fort with the Baymen, and at the beginning of season 2, you'll see he's up there, and you get to see that. But I think what's interesting about season 2 is I think none of these guys are kind of stagnant guys, and they don't sit in the same place. They're just not those kind of guys.
You get a sense in season 1 that you are not happy to be landlocked.
Yeah.
That he feels like he should be at sea, and taking over the brothel is not impressive to him at all.
Yeah. And I came back with these boats, but I still don't have a ship. So he doesn't have a ship. So it's, Charles Vane still has a long way to go to actually be a real pirate again. He's got a fort. What does that make him? Is that a pirate?
I like that scene near the end of the first season where you're in the fort but still looking out at sea.
Yeah.
Not content yet.
Because in reality, that's who he's a guy that belongs in the sea. That's where he does. But in season 1, you haven't really seen him on the sea yet. So there's still a lot to reveal, I think, for all the characters.
Joel, that's so untrue. His room was full of books that I hadn't seen, as much as we could. I suppose you have your little bit of knowledge about pirates from whatever, a bit of Pirates of the Caribbean or what you know at school or Peter Pan. And then as soon as we were cast, we all started swapping texts and going, you should read this, did you know this? And that doesn't stop. We still keep sharing information about pirates. Did you know this happened, or this guy? Luke's a pretty full bottle. He's a font on it, so I often just go to him and say, "What do you know about this?"
Yeah, and what's also great too is that obviously John Steinberg and Robert have done so much research, and there's a couple of historians that are involved with the show, so there's no shortage of kind of means to get a lot of information. But I think research-wise, in reality though, I think most of us found that stuff fascinating, but as far as playing the characters, a lot of it just came from the normal work that actors do, really just trying to make sense of the real people that these guys were, especially I think us, because we get to play true historical pirates. Like, I think we always kind of take moments on set where we were like, remember that these people are, that these are real people who existed, who handled these kind of situations, and kind of what that must really be like, being in these situations. So,
and three-dimensional, like as brutal as the world is, human contact and intimacy and friendship, it's still real things. I imagine the harder a world gets, in fact, the more you need to be able to trust someone or just to have a cuddle sometimes.
Yeah.
They're real things.
I think, obviously, when I was, people met me as Jody, in America on television. I'd done a bunch of guest star work before then, but, that was where, people started kind of, wanting to take photographs or caring at all. When we were kind of winding down on that, when this kind of came across my email screen from my agents, I was like, this is the one that we have to get. We have to get this one. And
you really chased it.
Yeah, they were, because they weren't going to really read Americans on these parts. They weren't really reading Americans. They didn't want any Americans to read. So I was like, just tell them I'm English. I was like, I don't care what you do. Get me in that room. So they couldn't get me in the room. So I let down a tape and sent it to my agents, who loved the tape right away and were able to get it in the hands of the producers quickly. And in 6 minutes, I was basically had the part. Like, I literally just sent it and went and was like getting a glass of water, and I got this email back 2 minutes later, and then they were like, listen, they want you to come in and read tomorrow, and with their producers. And I was like, but I'm in Chicago, because I was basically shooting the last episode of Shameless that I did in Chicago, and by the time I was doing my last day, I had Saturday and Sunday off, and then I started on Black Sails on Monday. So, yeah, it was
seamless.
It was cool. It was cool. Definitely going from being a non-working on camera actor to being working on is definitely cool. Playing a nomadic Transylvanian, there's a word that you don't use to describe that kind of person. I don't know.
A traveller.
A traveler, a nomadic traveler. It was really fun and to work on all these productions that are big. It's a new thing for me, but it's funny. You do like $100 million movie, and you're like, wow, this is so big. But then you realize also how big your show is, because our sets and whatnot. I mean, I've still, in all the biggest movies I've ever seen, I've never seen anything like the size of what we're doing in Black Sails. Although Dracula was really cool. I mean, I think as an actor, I've always been a character actor. I've always done different characters. I've never been that one kind of nerd guy just doing one thing. And to continue to get to move from very different people with very different kind of attributes, it's great. Clearly, my hair helped with all that too. So one day I'm going to shave it off, and you guys are going to be like, "Oh, he's a cop."
That's right.
Here's or something.